March 17th, 2025, 2:47 a.m. FBI Director Kash Patel sat alone in his secure office at FBI headquarters, staring at 89 video files that shouldn't exist. The videos had been deleted from official systems 3 years ago. Yet here they were, recovered from a backup server that someone had forgotten to wipe. As he watched the first video, Patel's hands began to shake. On the screen, a face he recognized. An FBI undercover agent he'd worked with for years, doing something that contradicted everything the January 6th committee had told America. By 3:15 a.m., Patel had watched all 89 videos. By 3:16 a.m., he knew his career as FBI director was probably over. By 9:30 a.m. that same morning, he was sitting before Congress, about to trigger the biggest intelligence scandal in modern American history. What did those 89 videos contain that made 3 DOJ prosecutors flee a congressional hearing? Why had 23 FBI undercover agents been systematically erased from the official January 6th narrative? March 16th, 2025. 11:47 p.m. FBI Director Kash Patel received an encrypted email from someone identifying themselves only as Conscience. The message was brief. Director, check backup server FB7 archive. Folder training exercise January 2021. Password, constitutional duty. Scheduled deletion. March 18th, 0600 hours. At 2:47 a.m., Patel drove to FBI headquarters. He logged into the backup server and entered the password. 89 video files appeared, each marked Ultra Restricted, Permanent Deletion Authorized. Patel clicked the first file. January 6th, 2021, 11:47 a.m., west front of Capitol Building. A man in tactical gear moving through the crowd with obvious training. Special Agent Marcus Reynolds, a 12-year FBI veteran. Reynolds wasn't observing. He was actively engaging with protesters, pointing toward Capitol entrances, coordinating groups. The second video showed Agent Sarah Chen using bolt cutters on a security fence. By the 7th video, Patel realized this wasn't rogue agents. This was coordinated. This was an operation. By 3:15 a.m., Patel had identified 23 FBI undercover agents, all actively participating, some opening barriers, others coordinating crowds, several encouraging protesters to enter restricted areas. This evidence had been deliberately hidden from every official investigation. At 3:16 a.m., Patel began downloading all 89 videos before the scheduled deletion. Cross-referencing the agents, Patel discovered all 23 had been assigned to Operation Constitutional Resilience. An internal memo dated January 3rd, 2021, from Deputy Director Victoria Blackwood read, "Standard protocols regarding prevention are suspended. Priority is intelligence gathering and evidence creation for future prosecutions." Evidence creation. The phrase made Patel's stomach turn. At 4:23 a.m., Patel found the budget. Operation Constitutional Resilience had received $67 million in emergency funding. Financial records revealed equipment purchases, 2,341 body cameras, 847 encrypted devices. Personnel payments, $4.7 million to FBI informants embedded throughout crowds. The FBI hadn't just been monitoring January 6th, they had been actively shaping events. At 6:15 a.m., Patel messaged House Oversight Chairman Thomas Bradford. "I have discovered classified evidence regarding FBI operations on January 6th that contradicts the official narrative. Requesting emergency briefing within 24 hours. At 6:47 a.m., Bradford's response, "Director Patel, I received a call from DOJ warning that you may be experiencing mental health issues. They suggested immediate medical leave. Someone at DOJ already knew. The counterattack had begun. Patel sent a second message. Mr. Chairman, I am of sound mind. I have 89 videos showing 23 FBI agents actively participating in January 6th, plus $67 million in undisclosed funding. I will present this with or without DOJ cooperation. At 9:30 a.m., Patel walked into room 2154 of the Rayburn House office building, carrying evidence that would explode American politics. Chairman Bradford called the session to order at 9:34 a.m. Director Patel, I need to address DOJ concerns about your state of mind. Patel removed a medical evaluation document. Mr. Chairman, I underwent a psychological evaluation at 6:30 a.m. You'll find I am fully competent. I anticipated DOJ would discredit me personally rather than address the evidence. Bradford scanned the evaluation. Present your evidence. Patel connected his encrypted drive. At 2:47 a.m. yesterday, I discovered 89 video files scheduled for permanent deletion. These videos document FBI undercover operations on January 6th never disclosed to Congress. He played the first video showing Special Agent Reynolds actively coordinating crowd movements. There were at least 23 FBI undercover agents actively engaged, assigned to Operation Constitutional Resilience, allocated $67 million in emergency funding. Committee members gasped. Representative Morrison leaned forward. The FBI spent $67 million and never disclosed this? Correct. In addition to 23 agents, the FBI paid $4.7 million to informants embedded throughout crowds. The operation purchased 2,341 body cameras, 847 encrypted devices, and 156 tactical engagement kits. What is a tactical engagement kit? Equipment including barrier manipulation tools and crowd coordination materials. The room erupted. Director Patel! Bradford banged his gavel. Are you saying the FBI provided agents with tools to manipulate events? The evidence suggests operations went far beyond intelligence gathering. This evidence was systematically concealed and scheduled for permanent deletion. Patel displayed Deputy Director Blackwood's memo, dated January 3, 2021. Standard protocols regarding prevention are suspended. Priority is evidence creation for future prosecutions. Evidence creation, Morrison repeated. That's entrapment. That's criminal conspiracy. At 9:47 a.m., the door burst open. DOJ attorneys entered, led by Assistant Attorney General Thornton. Mr. Chairman, this briefing must cease. Director Patel is presenting classified materials without authorization. He is in violation of nothing, Bradford thundered. He doesn't need DOJ permission. You have 5 seconds to exit. The department requests immediate suspension of his clearances. Overruled. Leave. Now. Patel continued systematically presenting everything. The 89 videos. The $67 million budget. The disappeared footage. The suspended prevention protocols. At 10:34 a.m., he displayed his most explosive evidence. This FBI assessment from January 4th, 2021 predicted with 87% confidence that large-scale violence was likely. It recommended immediate security enhancements. Patel paused. This was forwarded to Deputy Director Blackwood, DOJ officials, and the White House. What actions were taken? Patel displayed Blackwood's response. Assessment to be classified at highest level. No warnings to Capitol Police. Operational priorities focus on documentation rather than prevention or intervention. They let it happen, Morrison said. The FBI knew violence was coming and deliberately stood down while deploying 23 agents and informants to document events. That is what the evidence suggests. Bradford made his decision. This committee is immediately launching a formal investigation. We are subpoenaing Deputy Director Blackwood, Assistant Attorney General Thornton, and every official involved. He looked at Patel. Director, you understand you've probably ended your career. Mr. Chairman, some truths are more important than careers. The American people deserve to know that 23 agents were actively participating, that $67 million was spent on operations designed to document rather than prevent violence, and that evidence was scheduled for deletion. He stood. I became FBI director to serve the Constitution, not to protect institutional lies. If that ends my career ends. But the truth survives. At 12:47 p.m., Representative Morrison walked to the Capitol Press Gallery. FBI Director Kash Patel has presented evidence showing the FBI had 23 undercover agents actively participating in January 6th, spent $67 million on operations never disclosed to Congress, and deliberately chose not to prevent violence. The press gallery erupted. CNN, FBI Director exposes agency's hidden role. Social media exploded. Number 89 videos trended worldwide within minutes. At 2:15 p.m., Bradford announced, the committee has voted unanimously to declassify portions of Director Patel's testimony. Within hours, redacted evidence appeared online. The videos, the budget documents, the memos ordering documentation rather than prevention. By 4:30 p.m., 3 DOJ officials had resigned. By 6:45 p.m., Deputy Director Blackwood was placed on administrative leave. By 8:30 p.m., the Attorney General announced a special counsel investigation. Senator Torres, who had served on the January 6th committee, if this is accurate, we were systematically denied critical information. This is a betrayal. Senator Dalton. For 3 years, we've been told January 6th was purely extremist protesters. Now we discover the FBI had 23 agents, spent $67 million, and deliberately chose not to prevent predicted violence. Former Prosecutor White explained, if FBI agents were encouraging people to enter the Capitol, every conviction obtained without disclosure is potentially invalid. Hundreds of prosecutions might need review. At 11:47 p.m., Patel received notice that the president was requesting his resignation. Patel's response was published everywhere. I resign as FBI director, effective immediately. When I discovered evidence that the FBI had systematically concealed its operational role in January 6th, I faced a choice: protect the institution or protect the truth. I chose truth. The American people deserve honest law enforcement, not agencies that hide evidence. 6 months later, the special counsel confirmed everything. 23 FBI agents actively participated in January 6th operation. Constitutional resilience cost $67 million. The FBI predicted violence but chose not to prevent it. 156 additional informants were embedded in crowds. Evidence was systematically concealed. The 89 videos were scheduled for deletion. Criminal referrals were issued for 3 former FBI officials, including Deputy Director Blackwood. More than 200 January 6th convictions were reviewed, with 67 cases overturned. In his final congressional appearance, Morrison asked, do you regret exposing this, knowing it cost your career? Patel. I regret that it was necessary, but do I regret choosing truth over career? Never. Constitutional duty and respect for the American people are more important than any position. The hearing room erupted in applause. As Patel left the Capitol, supporters greeted him with signs, constitutional courage, and truth over career. The 89 videos reminded Americans that institutional accountability still mattered, and that constitutional transparency could function when people with courage refused to stay silent. The 89 videos changed American history. They proved even the most powerful institutions can be held accountable when evidence meets courage. If this story impacted you, like, share, and subscribe, where government secrets face truth and courage gets recognition, hit that notification bell. The next cover-up might change everything. What would you do if you discovered 89 videos your institution tried to delete? Would you choose career or truth? Drop your thoughts below. This dramatized story is inspired by real events and public figures. All dialogue and incidents are fictionalized for commentary and educational purposes. This is not intended to defame, but to explore themes of institutional accountability, constitutional duty, and transparency in democratic governance.